Leo, before we begin, take a deep breath. Feel the energy moving through your body. Let go of whatever happened before this moment and simply listen with your heart wide open. There is something happening within you, now something sacred, something powerful that words can barely describe. You may not have been able to name it yet, but you feel it, don't you? A strange yet profound sense that something deep inside you has shifted. A quiet inner knowing that who you are now is no longer the same person who walked through this world just months ago. Something inside you has been transformed, not temporarily, but permanently. And now your soul is whispering the truth you can no longer deny. You have outgrown who you once were. You have evolved beyond the limitations you once accepted, beyond the roles you used to play, and beyond the spaces you once fit into. And now, it feels like you're standing in your own life as a stranger, watching scenes unfold that once made sense, but no longer feel like they belong to you. It's as if you've woken up in the middle of a familiar dream, only to realize you're no longer the same dreamer. This is not confusion. This is not a crisis. This is the voice of your higher self, clear, strong, and certain, calling you forward. It is the undeniable realization that you have transcended the cycle you were once part of. You are no longer a participant in the patterns that once defined you. But here's the thing. The world around you hasn't caught up to this change yet. People may still see you as who you used to be. They may still expect the same responses, the same compromises, the same energy from you. But deep down, you know you can feel it in your bones that something essential within you has shifted. You are no longer meant to stay in the places where your light has to dim. You are no longer meant to play small, to be polite when your spirit is roaring to be free. And Leo, here's the most important part: you are not wrong for feeling this way. In fact, the universe is about to show you just how right you are. In the coming days, life will begin to reflect this new truth back to you with such clarity, such force, that even those who have known you for years will be left in awe. They will see what you have already started to feel, that you have changed, not superficially, not temporarily, but at the deepest level of your being. You are on the edge of something extraordinary, and what's coming is not subtle. It will be bold, undeniable, and impossible to ignore. This transformation will not wait for permission. It has already begun within you, and soon, it will show itself in every part of your life through opportunities, endings, new beginnings, and an overwhelming sense that you are finally aligning with your true path. Can you feel it, Leo? That quiet yet persistent pulse? That sensation in your chest that tells you something magnificent is awakening? That is your essence. That is your spirit rising. You know that feeling, Leo, quiet unease, that creeps in when you're living a life that no longer feels like it's truly yours. When your days unfold like a script you didn't write, and you catch yourself playing a character that no longer matches the truth within you. It's like wearing a skin that used to fit, but now feels too tight, too familiar, too small for the soul that's expanding inside you. This is not just discomfort. It's not restlessness. It's a sacred sign that you are standing at the threshold of your next becoming. You have truly outgrown the person you used to be. Your heart knows it, your body feels it, and your spirit has been whispering it in every quiet moment. You've seen too much, felt too deeply, and awakened too fully to ever return to who you were before. Your consciousness has expanded. Your values have shifted. Your inner compass has reoriented itself towards something pure, something real, something aligned. And now here you are, in this strange, in-between place. You've begun to remember who you really are, but the world around you still clings to an outdated image. The life you built back then was created by the version of you that no longer exists. And while your soul is ready to leap, parts of your life are still wrapped in the habits and structures of the past. This tension you feel, it's not a mistake. It's the divine pressure of transformation. It's the moment just before the seed breaks open, just before the butterfly leaves the cocoon, just before the fire turns to light. And Leo, you were never meant to evolve gently. No, your spirit came here to rise boldly. The universe is not going to let you stay in the in-between. It's coming to clear the path for you. In the coming days and weeks, life will begin speaking to you in ways you cannot ignore. You will see signs clear, specific, undeniable, coincidences that feel like messages, doors that close with finality, new paths that appear where none existed before. And you will know, in your heart, that this is your moment, not a future promise, not a far-off dream. Now, the old cycle is dissolving, the chapter has ended, and the energy around you is shifting so rapidly, so purposefully, that it will become impossible to cling to what no longer fits. The universe is not asking for your permission. It is declaring the truth. You have evolved. And now, everything must rise to meet that truth. The people who remain in your life will be those who recognize and honor this new version of you. The opportunities you're offered will reflect the frequency you now carry. Even the way you speak, the way you move, the way you exist in the world, it will all radiate with the unmistakable energy of someone who has remembered their power. So prepare yourself, Leo, because what's coming is not small, it's not safe, it's not familiar, it is expansive, it is real, and it is yours. Leo, there's something magical about what's unfolding for you now. It's as if life has been holding its breath, waiting for this exact moment when your inner fire finally outshines the doubts that used to dim your light. You've reached a point of no return, not because you're running from the past, but because you finally realized the past has nothing left to offer you. You see, for too long you may have settled for comfort, for routine, for roles that asked you to shrink so others could feel at ease. You may have accepted relationships that only saw the surface of you, or jobs that demanded your time but not your soul. You may have hidden your truth behind a carefully crafted mask, smiling when you wanted to cry, nodding when you wanted to roar. But now, something inside you refuses to play small anymore. What you're feeling isn't rebellion. It isn't impatience. It's not anger or frustration. It's your soul reclaiming its right to be fully expressed. It's your spirit saying, enough. Enough pretending. Enough postponing. Enough dimming the brilliance of your essence just to blend in. You weren't born to blend in, Leo. You were born to lead through your light, through your courage, through your unwavering presence. And now, the universe is responding to your awakening. In the coming weeks, you will be presented with moments, real, physical moments that ask you to step fully into this new version of yourself. These won't be vague or confusing. They will be invitations you cannot ignore. A conversation that changes your perspective. A decision that suddenly becomes clear. An opportunity that aligns so perfectly with your soul, it feels like destiny knocking at your door. And when that door opens, you'll know this is it. This is your time to live boldly and without apology. To choose paths that reflect your worth, not your fears. To allow your voice to be heard, not edited. To give yourself fully, not to people who demand your loyalty, but to those who recognize your value without conditions. You have paid your dues, Leo. You have waited long enough. And now, the universe is placing before you the kind of life you always sensed was possible. Not because you forced it, not because you chased it, but because you finally aligned with it. And now, all that is left is for you to say yes. Yes to the clarity. Yes to the courage. Yes to the fire that can no longer be contained. So tell me, Leo, are you ready to let the world see what your soul has always known? Leo, what's most extraordinary about this moment isn't just what's happening around you, it's what's happening within you. There's a fire building in your chest, not the kind that burns recklessly, but the kind that warms an entire world. It's the quiet, steady blaze of truth, finally remembered, of purpose finally recognized, of strength finally reclaimed. You may have doubted yourself once. You may have wondered if you were asking too much from life, dreaming too big, feeling too deeply. There were days when you questioned whether the path you longed to walk even existed. And there were nights when your spirit grew tired of carrying so much potential with nowhere to place it. But now, Leo, that time is over. The illusions are crumbling, the doubts are dissolving, the fog is lifting, and what remains is clarity, crystal clear, undeniable, sacred clarity. You are no longer someone who needs to prove anything to anyone. You've passed that test. You've walked through fire and carried your light even when no one else saw it. And now, you are becoming the version of yourself that knows not hopes, not wonders, but knows exactly who you are. You are powerful, not because others say it, but because you've earned it in silence. You are wise, not because of your words, but because of what you've endured and transmuted into strength. And you are ready, not because everything is perfect, but because your soul refuses to wait any longer. What's coming now is a kind of affirmation that doesn't arrive with fanfare or applause. It comes in the quiet moments when the right door opens without effort, when the right people show up without explanation, when the path lights up beneath your feet simply because you are finally standing in your truth. These next days, Leo, will carry with them evidence, real, physical, and undeniable evidence that the universe has heard your soul's call. You will see how life responds when you stop apologizing for your light. You will witness how people shift around you when you begin to embody the wholeness of who you are. You're not here to convince the world of your worth anymore. You're here to live it. So step forward not with hesitation, but with sacred certainty. The life you've always felt was meant for you? It's no longer a distant vision. It's arriving. And this time, Leo, it's here to stay. Leo, can you feel it now? That subtle yet undeniable shift in the air around you? It's as if the universe itself is rearranging the stars to reflect the change that has already occurred inside you. And the most powerful part of this transformation is that it is not temporary. This is not a fleeting moment of inspiration or a passing wave of courage. No, this is permanent evolution, a spiritual graduation into a higher level of being. You have arrived at a threshold where you will no longer be able to tolerate anything that isn't aligned with your truth. It's not about being harsh or rigid, it's about being so clear in your energy that anything less than authenticity simply falls away. The old habits, the old roles, the old obligations, they no longer have a place in your story. And now, without effort, they begin to dissolve. What's coming is not just external validation, though that will surely come. What's arriving now is a kind of inner freedom that no one can take from you. You will no longer shape yourself to fit into containers that were never made for you. You will no longer sacrifice your essence to be liked, chosen, or understood. Because now, you understand yourself. You understand what your heart needs to thrive. You understand what kind of spaces nourish your creativity, your soul, your joy. You understand what it means to honor your own rhythm, to protect your energy, to walk away without guilt when something no longer feels right. And from that clarity, Leo, comes power. Not the loud kind, not the kind that demands the room, but the kind that radiates quiet, magnetic, undeniable. The kind of power that causes people to pause when you walk in. The kind that shifts the conversation when you speak. The kind that draws in new opportunities simply because of the vibration you now carry. In the days to come, you'll begin to notice how differently the world responds to you. People will seek your insight, not because you're trying to lead, but because your energy inspires trust. Invitations will arrive, not because you chase them, but because your authenticity has become a signal, calling in what aligns with your soul. And most of all, you will feel a sense of peace, a deep knowing that you no longer need to strive to be anything other than exactly who you are. This is the new cycle you've entered, a cycle of embodiment, a cycle of ease, a cycle of sacred alignment. So if you felt lost, Leo, know that the path is revealing itself. If you felt disconnected, know that the reconnection is already underway. If you felt unseen, know that the right eyes are finally turning toward you, not to judge, not to correct, but to recognize. You are being remembered by the universe. And now, it's time to remember yourself. Leo, what you are experiencing now is not a coincidence. It's a cosmic alignment and unfolding that has been written in the stars long before you ever questioned your place in this world. And now, the universe is revealing its timing with divine precision. You're not late. You're not behind. You are exactly where you are meant to be, in the exact moment your soul chose to awaken. And as you awaken, something beautiful is happening. You're starting to recognize just how much you've been carrying and how much you can finally release. The weight of past expectations, the burden of needing to be everything for everyone, the pressure to always be strong even when you are breaking inside, it's time to let it all go. You don't have to prove your worth through overgiving anymore. You don't have to perform strength to be respected. You don't have to silence your softness just to be heard. The new version of you understands that true power is found not in resistance, but in honesty with yourself, with others, with life. You are learning to honor your boundaries, not as walls, but as sacred thresholds that protect your peace. You're learning that saying no is just as divine as saying yes. That resting is not weakness, it is restoration. And with every small act of self-honoring, your energy begins to shift. Watch closely, Leo, because this change will be reflected all around you. Where once you tolerated draining conversations, now you find silence more nourishing. Where once you worked to maintain connections that dimmed your light, now you walk away in quiet grace. Where once you compromised just to be accepted, now you stand fully in your truth, knowing that those who truly see you will never ask you to shrink. This is how the universe mirrors your evolution, not through chaos, but through clarity, not through destruction, but through release. And yes, it may feel lonely at first, because as you rise, not everyone can rise with you. But trust this, those who are meant to walk beside you in this new cycle will find you not because you reach for them, but because your light will guide them in. You are no longer chasing alignment, you are becoming it. And as this energy grows inside you, something else begins to awaken, a quiet confidence, a knowing that doesn't need to be explained or defended. You don't need to shout, you don't need to convince. You simply need to stand in your center, and the world will feel the shift. This is the leadership of Leo, the kind that inspires not by force, but by being. The kind that moves mountains simply by existing. The kind that others will look to for answers, but for example. And Leo, you are becoming that example now. Leo, one of the clearest signs that you have truly evolved is in how you now respond to recognition. In the past, you may have longed for it, waited for applause, hoped for validation, needed someone to mirror back your brilliance just to believe it was real. But something has shifted, hasn't it? Now, when praise comes, you smile, but it no longer defines you. Now, when people admire your presence, your wisdom, your strength, you receive it with grace, not as proof of your worth, but as confirmation of what you already know deep inside. This is maturity. This is spiritual sovereignty. This is the radiant power of someone who has stopped asking the world for permission to be who they are. And this shift, this quiet revolution within you, was why the world is beginning to take notice in a new way. Not because you're louder, not because you've tried harder, but because your energy has become unmistakable. You are no longer trying to be something, you simply are. In this new phase, you'll notice something else too, a dramatic decrease in your tolerance for anything that drains your soul. Where once you might have entertained conversations that felt empty, now you politely excuse yourself. Where once you tried to please people who never truly saw you, now you no longer feel the need to explain your absence. Where once you feared being misunderstood, now you embrace it, because being misunderstood is a small price to pay for being truly free. You've stopped looking for belonging in places that ask you to abandon yourself. You've stopped seeking love in places that require you to shrink. And instead, you've begun building a new foundation, one rooted in truth, in integrity, in alignment. And yes, Leo, this may bring changes in your relationships. Some people will drift away, some connections will fade, but trust that this is not loss, it is refinement. The universe is removing anything that cannot rise with you, not as punishment, but as protection. You are being shifted into an environment that matches the vibration of your soul. One where you are not just accepted, but celebrated. One where you are not just seen, but deeply, deeply understood. And the more you honor this inner clarity, the more life will reward you. Doors will open where none existed. Support will arrive without you asking. Peace will become your default, not your exception. This is what happens when you no longer betray yourself to keep the peace with others. This is what happens when you choose alignment over approval. Leo, you are no longer just growing. You are becoming. Leo, what's most breathtaking about this phase you're stepping into is that you no longer measure your life by comparison. You've stopped looking left and right to see who's ahead, who's behind, who's watching. That race never belonged to you. And now, you finally see it. You are your own path, your own rhythm, your own light. Comparison was once a quiet thief in your mind, whispering that you weren't enough, that others were further, brighter, more deserving. But not anymore. Now, your energy no longer bends to meet someone else's timeline. You've outgrown the need to prove. You've grown into the peace of simply being. And from that stillness, true radiance is born. You now walk forward, not in competition, but in communion with your own soul, with your own truth, with the destiny that has always been waiting for you to rise. You no longer seek to impress. You seek to express. Every choice you make now comes from the inside out, not the outside in. Every yes is sacred. Every no is clear. And the life you are creating now is not built on shoulds or expectations. It is built on essence. It is built on soul, and you will feel it, Leo, in the smallest of ways. A conversation that feels real, a place that feels like home, a decision that once seemed impossible, now made effortlessly. These are not random. These are breadcrumbs from the universe, guiding you closer to the life that mirrors your spirit. This week, pay close attention to those moments when you feel most like yourself, when time disappears, when your heart feels full, when you don't need to filter your truth. These are not just good moments. These are signs, sacred clues from the divine, echoes of your future calling you home. And the more you notice them, the more they'll multiply. That's how alignment works. The more you say yes to what lights you up, the more the universe brings it to you. Not as a reward, but as a reflection. You're no longer chasing anything, Leo. You're attracting everything. You are no longer a seeker. You are a magnet for truth, for opportunity, for love that recognizes your soul the moment it sees you. Because now you know. You don't have to do more to be worthy. You don't have to earn what is already yours. You simply have to be who you are, fully, unapologetically, and without delay. And the moment you do, the right people, the right places, the right purpose, they all begin to find you. Leo, this is what happens when you choose your truth above all else. Leo, what's happening now is something sacred because you're no longer trying to change the world around you. Instead, you're transforming it simply by existing as your most authentic self. You don't need a grand stage to lead. You don't need to force anyone to see your light. Because when you walk in your truth, Leo, the entire energy of a room shifts. People feel it. They sense something different about you, even if they can't explain it. It's not charisma. It's not charm. It's something deeper. It's alignment. And it's undeniable. This is true leadership, not rooted in control, but in resonance. You're not leading with effort. You're leading with presence. Just by being exactly who you are giving others permission to rise too. Your courage becomes a mirror. Your clarity becomes a guide. Your transformation becomes an unspoken invitation. You can live like this too. And it's effortless not because you're not doing the work, but because you're no longer working against yourself. This is why people are now drawn to you in new ways. They feel safe in your energy because your energy is pure. They seek your insight because your wisdom was born through fire. They want to walk beside you because you're walking a path that is real and they can sense it. Even your conversations are different now. You'll notice how your words linger, how someone pauses when you speak, how your presence opens something in others that they didn't even know was closed. And no, Leo, this isn't your ego, it's your evolution being felt in real time. What you've done isn't ordinary. You've turned pain into power, doubt into direction, silence into sacred clarity. You've taken the long road inward, and now, without even trying, you are lighting the way for others. You are not here to convince. You are here to embody. And the universe? It sees you. It's not just watching, it's responding. You'll notice the proof in the days to come, the conversations that turn into opportunities, the quiet nudges that lead to the right place, the strangers who speak to your soul, the synchronicities that make your heart stop. This is the magic of living aligned. And Leo, you've earned every moment of it. Leo, take a deep breath. Can you feel how far you've come? This is not just the end of a chapter. It's the beginning of a life that truly reflects who you are at the deepest level. And the most beautiful part is that you're not forcing anything anymore. You're not striving. You're not begging life to notice you. You're simply rising naturally, gracefully, powerfully. The universe has watched you evolve in silence. It has witnessed your quiet battles, your inner shifts, your sacred letting go. And now, it responds not with tests, but with confirmation. With the signs you've been waiting for. With the opportunities that match your frequency. With the relationships that see your soul and ask nothing of you but your truth. What's ahead is not uncertain anymore. Yes, the details may be unknown, but the feeling, that undeniable resonance in your spirit tells you all you need to know. You are walking into alignment, into freedom, into your birthright. There is no more need to hold back. You've outgrown the version of yourself that settled, that doubted, that dimmed your light for the comfort of others. That cycle has ended not in chaos, but in clarity. Not in pain, but in peace. You now carry a wisdom that only comes from experience, a light that only ignites through transformation, and a voice that no longer shakes when it speaks your truth. So now, Leo, the question is not if you're ready. The question is, will you allow yourself to fully step in? Will you trust that this version of you, this bold, luminous, deeply authentic soul, is exactly who the world has been waiting for? Because the time of hiding is over. The time of shrinking is done. You've crossed a threshold, and nothing can pull you back into who you used to be, not even you. So when the signs arrive, when the door opens, when the invitation is made, when the alignment clicks into place, don't hesitate. Say yes. Say yes to the extraordinary life that was always meant for you. Say yes to the mission your soul came here to fulfill. Say yes to being exactly who you are, with no edits, no apologies, no fear. The world doesn't need another version of what it already has. It needs you, your courage, your creativity, your wild heart, your lion's soul. And Leo, the show is just beginning. So step forward, take your place, and shine. Not someday, now.